There's lots of blood in the crypto streets today, stemming from comments made by Fed Chairman Jerome Powell regarding the state of our economy and the rate of inflation. We'll talk about the impacts his comments have had on the overall crypto market as well as Saitama coming up right after this. How's it going, family? Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Stream. So as I mentioned before, we want to get into the nitty gritty of what's going on. As you may have noticed, the crypto market is down in the toilet today. It is down in the tubes. A sea of red is everywhere, not just Saitama, not Ethereum, and not only Bitcoin. It's everything, Bitcoin included. Yes, Bitcoin included. Let's take a look at an article that was put out today by CNBC. If we go over here and take a look at this, this is going to show us and give us some insight into why we are seeing this free fall in not only the crypto market, but also the stock market today. So this article is entitled Powell Warns of Some Pain Ahead as the Fed Fights to Bring Down Inflation. Now, there are three key points that are driven home by this article. I'm just going to read these 3 points and then we'll dive into my analysis today. Is that all right? All right. Thank you, guys. All right. So here's the first point. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell on Friday pledged that the central bank will use our tools forcefully to attack inflation that is still running near its highest level in more than 40 years. That is true. We have been seeing the highest inflation rate in the past 40 years. Actually, this is the highest inflation rate ever. Let that sink in. So let's continue on. So the second point says, in his annual Jackson Hole, Wyoming policy speech, Powell added that higher interest rates likely will persist for some time. The historical record cautions strongly against prematurely loosening policy. The remarks come amid signs that inflation may have peaked, but is not showing any marked signs of decline. Powell said the Fed will not be swayed by a month or two of data. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is really important to note. The last bullet point that I just read there, as far as the Fed not being swayed by data that just was recently released. As you may all be aware, we saw the CPI report that came out this past several weeks ago for the month of July, and it pegged the rate of inflation actually lower than what everyone was expecting. And so that caused a mini bull run, if you will, on the stock market as well as the crypto market, because investors were of the opinion that this may be a sign that inflation has peaked, as well as a sign that the Federal Reserve, which is our central bank, by the way, would not be as aggressive in terms of increasing the key interest rate. Now, we all know what happened at that meeting. What ended up happening is the Fed actually increased the key interest rate by 75 basis points in their last meeting. However, this upcoming meeting that's scheduled for September, there was originally speculation that the basis points of 50 basis points would be the target price point as far as the increase of that key rate from the Fed, because of a positive CPI index report that came out for July. However, the recent comments from Fed Chairman Jerome Powell has seemed to dampen those hopes. And there are some people thinking that we may be in for a shock. We may be in for a 75 basis point increase again. Now, if we go back to this article and we take a look at some of the other points that it makes, because it makes some good points here, we'll note here that it says that we, meaning the federal government, is wanting to target getting the interest rate down to 2%, because that's where they feel comfortable as far as the point of inflation being tolerable. So it says here, however, Powell cautioned that the Fed's focus is broader than a month or two of data, and it will continue pushing ahead until inflation, here's the key point, until inflation moves down closer to its 2% long range goal. Now, If we continue to move on, we'll see this section that's called to the point. And this is where we talk about the market, where the market feels or speculates where we're going based on these comments. So we read this, it says markets are awaiting the Fed's next meeting, which is in September, to see if the rate setting Federal Open Market Committee will enact a third consecutive 75 basis points, which is 75% points increase. Powell said the decision will depend on the totality of the incoming data and the evolving outlook. At some point, as the stance of monetary policy tightens further, it will likely become appropriate to actually slow the pace of those increases in basis points. Now, what I want to do is take a look at the overall crypto market just to give you an overview of the impact his comments actually had, specifically on Bitcoin, specifically on Shiba Inu, specifically Dogecoin, and finally on Saitama. Let's get into that, guys. So if we move back over here to CoinMarketCap, we'll see that the overall crypto market, we can see if we scroll back up, we'll see that the overall crypto market sits at $973 billion. That is a decrease of 6.64% over this time yesterday. Now, if you tuned in with us yesterday when we put out a video, you'll note that the market cap, the global market cap, actually has sat over the $1 trillion mark. That is a key mark that serves as a benchmark for the global cryptocurrency market. Now, we are sitting at 973% or 973 0.68 billion, sorry, not percent, but dollars. So that's 6.64% decrease over this time yesterday, as I mentioned. That is a lot to see in a decrease of the market. Okay, now, as we move on, we can see that there is a sea of red everywhere in the market. Yes, you see the specks of green, but again, as we always say, those are your stable coins. But look at this, red all over the market. Now, what I want us to do is look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we're going to talk about what was the all-time high and how much of a discount, yes, I said discount, we are currently seeing right now. So if we get into this, we can look at this and we can see that at the all-time high, Bitcoin was at about $67,000. That was the all-time high, $67,000. Let's call it 67,000 flat. That is 70% down from where we are now. So we are at about $20,000. We were at $67,000 at the all-time high in 2021. That is approximately 70% discount. If we move over to Ethereum, we see a similar situation. Ethereum currently sits at about $1,500, but at the all-time high, we looked at a range of about 4,800 or 4,800. That was approximately 70 to 80% down at this point in time based on that price difference, which is a 70 to 80% discount. If we move on to Shiba Inu, we see something even more drastic. If we look at Shiba Inu, we saw an all-time high when we sat at about 4 zeros after the decimal and an 8. So 0.00008 was the all-time high, and we're currently sitting at 4 zeros, 1, 2, 4, 3. That is an 85% decrease in price over last year when we were at the all-time high. That is an 85% discount, guys. Now, let's look at Dogecoin. If we move over to Dogecoin, we can see that we sit at 6 cents, right? At the all-time high, Dogecoin experienced a price of 68 cents. That is down. That is a decrease of 90%. Ladies and gentlemen, that means Dogecoin is on sale for 90% off. All right, now let's move to Saitama. Now, for Saitama, we're going to focus on the V2 contract because we put V1 behind us. So in order to do that properly, we have to look at the all-time high when V2 launched. And if we take a look at that, we can see the all-time high for V2 was sitting at 0.2095. Look where we are now. We are at 0.2019. That is a discount of about 80%. Why am I telling you this about all of these cryptos as far as considering it as a discount versus being down in the red? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you may have guessed it. The reason why you should consider it a discount is because that is the nature of crypto. It's no different than the stock market. But you know what? The difference between the stock market and crypto is crypto sees more drastic falls and more drastic pumps than the stock market. You will not see a 40% drop in the price of a stock in one day. You're not going to see that. More than likely, you're not going to see the price of a stock go up by 60% in one day. That is unheard of. You'd be lucky to see 5%, 10%, maybe if you're in a good bull market, maybe. So that's just the nature of crypto. I'm saying this because I want you to have conviction in whatever crypto project you are invested in. As I always say, if you invested in your crypto projects for the right reason, then you have nothing to fear. If you DYI, which means, or DYR, do your own research, right? So I think I said those acronyms wrong. But you get my point. Do your own research. DYOR. Do your own research. There we go. We did it right that time. If you do your own research, then you have nothing to fear. If you know you invested in a solid project, you invested in a project that has good, solid utilities and that has good devs that communicate with the communities and you trust them, you have nothing to fear. This is not financial advice, but it is telling you the truth about investing in crypto markets. Okay? Now, with that being said, everything is in the red. So don't kick yourself. Don't be down on your luck. Don't say, woe is me. And let me tell you something else. All of those people that are choosing to exit their positions and sell their crypto, this is not specific to Saitama. This is just crypto in general. They are locking in their losses. Let that sink in. When you sell your crypto at a loss, especially a loss substantial like 80 to 70 to 60 to 90%, like we just talked about with all of those cryptos that we discussed, you are locking in your losses. Conversely, when you see all-time highs and you decide to sell, you're locking in your profit, your gains. So I say this, yes, you may be down in your wallet. You may see a sea of red in your wallet. That is absolutely true. Hey, it's the same for my wallet. I'm no different. I'm just a YouTuber, but I'm telling you facts here. All right. With that, you may see red in your wallet all over, but you're not realizing that that's all on paper. But when you sell, you lock in those losses. Let this be some encouragement for you to know that it's not just Saitama that's down. It's not just Shiba Inu that's down. It's not just Doge Coin that's down. It's actually the main players that move the market, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Guys, that's really all I had for you. I just wanted to come to you with this news about the market and why we're seeing such a free fall today. It'll get better, guys. The market always bounces back. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Crypto Stream. If you like the channel, please go ahead. If you like the show and you like what you heard, please go ahead and like the video and comment below. Also, please feel free to subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss future content that we put out. And I'm going to leave you with this quote from Warren Buffett here. There's a quote from Warren Buffett here, and it says, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." Now, I'm going to add my twist to that. I'm going to make it relevant to crypto. And if I were to rewrite this quote, it'll go a little something like this. The crypto market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Guys, that's all. I think I made the case for you. Hold on to your positions. Don't lose the faith. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Remember to keep investing with a purpose so that you can create generational wealth for you and your family. We'll talk to you guys real soon.